Hi, it's Keesja, and this is Coffee with Keesja. Welcome. Buckle up, it's about to get hot. Yes, that's right. Today's episode is all about firefighters. And we have an absolutely smoking lineup today. Troy Stockwell, dual Olympian, Danny Flav, Olympic referee, and Alyssa Bull. Alyssa is a Rio Olympian for kayak. Yes, we have gone outside the water polo fraternity today, but we haven't left the water sports. Ali, also known as Bully, is a firefighter too. This episode is going to be lit. Let's get cracking. Okay, I am on fire with the fire puns. Let's go to our first question. So I'll go, Troy, what is a typical day for a firefighter?
Okay, so Danny and I were talking before, Fire Rescue New South Wales on 24-hour shifts now. We used to be 2 days and 2 nights, which Melbourne's still on. So in that 24-hour, it's a long time to fill if you're not going to incidents. So we start at 8 o'clock in the morning. This is a typical fire station. I don't work at a fire station at the moment. I'm in the command centre, but typical fire station is 0800 in the morning. You'll be checking the truck and all the gear. You might spend an hour checking the truck, checking all the gear, the breathing apparatus, all the equipment, the rescue equipment, hydraulics, really going through it really carefully. And that equipment, that might not have been used at all since the morning before when it was checked by the previous crew, but you still check it as though it hasn't been checked for, days. So that's a really strict check because firefighter safety depends on, your equipment. If your equipment fails and you're in a job, then, things can go really bad. So we'd spend an hour or so checking the gear, then maybe another hour or so checking this, cleaning the station, making sure everything's, spick and span. And then depending on the station and how busy you are, and certainly in those 2 hours that I've just talked about, you might have had a couple of calls as well. You go on a call, you come back, you continue doing what you're doing. And then depending on the station, how busy, what's been planned, you might do drills for a couple of hours. That's, firefighter training. And then lunch, and then in the afternoon, again, it depends on how many calls you've already had and how frantic your day's been. Might be some more training, might be some like private study kind of stuff for people that want to progress to go up through the ranks. They've got to study and pass exams, and then after by the night time or so, it's really kind of toned down. Look, the workload's toned down a little bit because you might get a call at 11 p.m. and be out till 6 the next morning. So you can't expect to work all through the day and then work all through the night. It's going to be tough. So that would be a typical kind of day.
Yeah, nice.
For us anyway. What about you guys?
Oh well, for us, as you said, Troy. Look, we're still in the 10-14. Virtually the same thing. We'd muster, which is doing a roll call, if people don't know, and it's just to find out make sure everyone's on station, and we normally have a bit of banter and talk amongst all the guys and people that are there, just have a bit of a joke, a laugh about the night before, all that sort of stuff, and then we virtually, that takes a half an hour or so, and then we go into, as Troy said, we go into checking our trucks, which we do exactly like Troy said. We go right through everything, make sure everything's working, and then we go for breakfast after that. So we have our breakfast and we do more banter, more chatting. Of course, if there's no calls, so we sit around and have a good laugh. But once breakfast is done, straight into clean the fire station, straight into clean the trucks, clean the fire station, do that every day. Clean toilets, sweep, vacuum, mop, do whatever we need to. And, we sort of wait then to see if we get any fire calls. If nothing happens, we go out inspecting. We go inspecting factories, or we do school visits nowadays. I know that the rest of the states do it, but we have school visits where we go and talk about fires, good fires, bad fires, and all sorts of things like that. And once again, we're just on call waiting for something to happen.
Yeah, so 24 hours or 2 days is quite a long time to obviously be on, because as you said, you have to wait for the call, wait for something to happen. So do you have mental strategies, or is there an approach that the whole team takes so you can be ready to go and also have that moment to switch off? Because if you're on the whole time, I'm sure it'll just be very exhausting. Ali?
Yeah, I think for us, we're still in the 10-14 as well. So our morning's very much similar to what the guys just explained. We often then will break and go and get coffee for Smogo. So that's our way to sort of ease into the day, and yeah, we'll just do some training or nothing too crazy, particularly during summer. In the hot season, it's kind of try and just chill out as you can, because you never know when you're going to get a job or how long it's going to be. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's all very low key for us until the bells do go, and that's when everyone sort of switches their brain on, and everyone's quiet and listening to what the job is, and then it's all sort of systems go in terms of what your role is when you jump in the truck to get to that incident, and then once you get there, assessing the situation and going from there. But I'm only fiery in the back seat, so it's my officer does sort of obviously tell us what to do, but it's also up to us to keep an eye on the situation and make our own sort of judgments and keep continuing to call it a dynamic risk assessment. So we're always making sure the environment is always changing. So you got to be on top of it. You can't just blindly do what you're told or just blindly look at the fire, because that's sometimes what you get distracted by, but you've got to look at the surroundings and everything that's going on as well.
You mentioned the fire season, and I suppose because of COVID, everyone has kind of forgotten that January was, or January, February was some of our, worst fires, worst bushfires in recent history. Like, how did it impact you guys differently, or just another day in the office, or how did it impact you?
Well, funny you say January, February. For us, it started the first fire started in the Clarence Valley in end of August, maybe early September last year.
Right. Yeah.
I'd say September as well. It started.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll edit that. So when this fire season...
that's fine. You're right though. That's when it got really bad. But for us and working in the command centre, like from probably October to, we had storms on the 9th of February, and I remember it very well because it was like the first rain we had. It was the worst 4 to 5 months of, and I joined in 91. Danny was just before me. You were about 89, 90. Danny.
89.
Yeah. So it was the worst 5 months of my career, without a doubt. And it was just frantic. It was just, in the command centre, we were coordinating resources the whole time, like 24 hours a day, sending trucks all over the state. The triple O calls that were coming in were just as bad as you can imagine. It was just really, really tough, consistent. It was tough. We've had a lot of tough, really bad times, but this was consistently tough for months on end. And actually, back to your question before about mental, how do you deal with things mentally? We actually, in my department, we had a psychologist come in to talk to us. The fire brigade, thought it was a good idea. And she came in, and she comes in every few months now. And, firefighters are meant, probably known to be, tough. You see and do things that, the average person probably wouldn't do. And some of the stuff that we see, the average person shouldn't see. I certainly wouldn't, want some of my daughters to see some of the stuff I've seen. But, so we're meant to be tough. People see firefighters as tough. And so the psychologist came in, and it was optional. You didn't have to see the psychologist. And I really didn't think I'd, needed to see her. I thought I was fine. I was fatigued, and, I was just, over the summer was just terrible. And but because I'm the supervisor in there, and there's, like 8 to 10 firefighters, daily under me, I thought, I'll see her to set a good example and to encourage other people to see her. And I went in and saw her, and it was just, if you ever get the chance to see a psychologist, Ali, especially, you're early in your career, obviously, talking to someone that has not experience as a firefighter, but experience in people dealing with mental stress. It was I overstate how valuable it was for me. It was unbelievable, and I would, you know, I encourage all my firefighters since that first time, all of them to see her, even if they don't think they need to. It was really, really valuable, and it came at the right time too for me. But yeah, like, we're meant to be tough, but there's no such thing as being too tough, you know.
So, Danny, how do you compare refereeing a high-pressure international game to fighting a bushfire? Any sort of parallels?
That's very easy to answer. In refereeing a game, I'm virtually in charge, so I know what's going on and I can control what's happening. In a bushfire or a factory fire or a house fire, you're not in control. You just got to go with what your gut sense is and what's happening around you. So it's because at any one stage, you know, in a grass fire, the wind can change and the fire can turn around and come back on top of you. In a house fire, the roof could fall in, or a wall could fall down. So in one scenario, I'm in control of, and in the other one, I have no control over whatsoever.
Do you think, and this is really just off the top of my head, because you, as a firefighter, you have to be aware of everything, you know, like the walls, the fire, the people. So that in a game, you're good at looking across the pool. Do you think it helps?
Oh, absolutely. Definitely, by being a firefighter, it's definitely helped me in my refereeing. Absolutely. And just not by watching, just mannerisms and, you know, relaxing and breathing and taking everything in at once. So it's definitely being a firefighter has definitely helped me.
Yeah, right. And Ali, you working as a firefighter and also training for the Tokyo Olympics as a kayaker. Tell us a bit about how you balance that, and a bit about your training program as well.
So for me, I'm doing the 10-14 roster, so 2 days and then 2 nights and then 4 days off. I'm getting up in the mornings on my day shifts pretty early to get the session in before work, and I actually work in South Brizzy, so for me to get from the Gold Coast to Brizzy, and my station is a 55-minute drive. So I'm up at like 10 to 4 to do a session, to get on the water by like 20 past 4 to get that done, and then off the water to head to work. We are very lucky to sort of have gyms at station, and if you do get some time in the arvo, it often gets interrupted, because for us afternoons with school traffic and people trying to get home from work, we often get to do a couple of RTC cleanups in the arvo. So quite often gym for me at work is kind of just do what I can and get it done. And then on the night shifts, I'll train early in the afternoon to go then to work that night, and then come back straight from work straight to training in the morning to get that morning session done. So it is a bit of a juggle at the moment. So I'm very grateful of my K2 partner, Elise and Anna, my coach. They are super flexible with working around it and changing our training times to suit. But because it's the same rotating roster, it's pretty easy to sort of predict the weeks ahead. So in terms of getting all the key sessions on sort of days off is a bit easier. So I'm pretty much on the go a lot. But yeah, it's good. I thoroughly enjoy it. So.
But actually, Ali, would you consider playing water polo or changing sports? Canoe polo, also an option.
I mean, it looks hard and very rough. It's quite a contact sport in water. But I don't know, swimming...
You're used to no one touching you, no one being anywhere near you, whereas we're...
I feel like I sort of have a general idea of how it could be based on like a surf race for surf lifesaving. Which is quite... get kicked around and stuff, but I feel like it would just be that.
And then add a ball, and that's what we're doing.
It'd be hard.
Well, actually, Troy loves surf swimming, often down at Cronulla Beach surf swimming. Is that actually, Troy, is that to, for fitness, or you just like the feel of the ocean, or help you with your firefighting in any way?
No, nothing to do with helping the firefighting. Well, certainly, yeah, I guess fitness and that leads to helping firefighting. But I spent so much time, as you would have too, in the pool training. I pretty much made a determination that I wouldn't swim in a pool again. So now I swim in the ocean, and the ocean's like just, like 100 meters behind me. So that's really handy. And I've got a couple of people that I swim with. If I'm not swimming, I'm surfing. I'm not surfing, I'm body surfing. I'm not body surfing, I'm stand-up paddling. So I'll be in the ocean one way or another during the day. But when I'm swimming, it's really cash. I know I swam with you guys once, and after about 50 metres, you were 200 metres ahead of me. So I'm trying to keep up with you. But I swim very casually now, and I just love being in the water.
So beach water polo, maybe we could convince you.
Yeah, maybe if we have one down at Cronulla again, I'll put my hand up.
Yeah,
long as it's in a short pool, Troy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. Beach water polo, you don't even have to cover. You can just sit up and you attack. That's me.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Okay, so we will jump into the rapid fire. Oh, actually, last one, promise. Is there a crazy firehouse prank that you guys have experienced or want to share? I hear that there's crazy ones. I don't know.
There's plenty that goes on.
I don't think we can tell you any of them.
There is so much happening. Yeah.
Pretty much.
So much.
Pretty much.
It's all fun and games until the bells drop. So you got to make the most of it. You spend a lot of time with each other, so your crew becomes very much like your family. And there's lots of fun, lots of cook-ups. But yeah, also you got to do some tough jobs together. So it's important to have that good relationship with the crew.
Yeah, for sure.
It's actually amazing how much goes on in the fire station. To keep us on our toes and just to make it funny and enjoy ourselves. So as you said, we're living in each other's pockets, 24 hours a day. You do need something to sort of get away from it, and there's a lot of practical jokes go on. A lot.
Reminds me of tour.
It's not unlike a water polo tour.
Yeah, right. Interesting. Okay, rapid fire questions. So there's 3 questions. We'll go around. I ask these at the end of every episode. And just whatever comes to your mind, whatever you think of first, there's no right or wrong answer. So we'll go Troy, Danny, Ali, and then we'll go Ali, Danny, Troy, Danny, Ali.
I'll give Danny a go at first.
No, I like going second. That's all right. I'll get a chance to think what we're talking about.
Yeah. All right. So first one, easy one, practice, warm up. What is your coffee order?
Me, don't laugh, but it's an almond chai latte.
We've had some really fancy ones.
Well, I've never been a coffee drinker, and I feel like I've missed out socially because it's such a social scene. Mm-hmm. And then one of my daughters put me onto that, and I loved it. So I often walk down to Cronulla, well, pretty much every day, walk into Cronulla with a mate and have a almond chai latte.
Okay, Danny?
For me, it's quite easy. I don't drink coffee or tea. It's simple.
Okay, and Ali?
I will have a cappuccino with extra choc on top. But I've got to pick and choose when I'm decaf or normal coffee.
Nice. Okay, second. Yes. Second question. What is your go-to karaoke song? The one you're going to blare out.
Am I first?
Yeah, Ali's first.
Oh, there's so many. I need a belter. Be like, my housemate just got home. Accidentally by the Crows. Is that what it's called? Shannon Noel, what about me?
Oh, yes.
Horses, Braithwaite.
Love it. Love it. Okay, Danny, what about
you? Mine's an oldie. Mine's living next door to Alice.
And Troy?
Probably Talking Heads, Once in a Lifetime. There's a couple of lyrics off there that really resonate with me, so they're the ones I'd go to.
Nice. Okay, last question. In the movie of your life, which celebrity would play you?
Danny.
Sorry. Who was it?
No, Danny first.
Oh, Danny. Okay.
Oh, no, Danny would play me.
Yeah.
You can play each other, maybe.
any bald guy. Matthew McConaughey. There we are.
Yeah, good one. Yeah.
I need a celebrity.
Okay, and who wants to go next?
Ali.
I'm gonna go with Margot Robbie.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, Australians.
Yeah. Hot, good looking.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, Troy, lucky last.
As Danny said, any bald guy, maybe Jason Statham.
Yep. Bruce Willis.
Funny story. He represented the United Kingdom for diving in the Commonwealth Games. Jason Statham.
Really?
Yeah.
This is a
Yeah,
fun
so a
fact.
sports person too. So yeah, I'd go him.
Guys, the movie that all three of you guys are in, Firefighters and Sport. That's what it's going to be called. It's going to be epic. Thank you guys, honestly, so much. That was great. I actually learned so much. I don't know, didn't know anything to start with, and I feel like I know a little bit more. And I was saying to someone that I actually wanted to be a firefighter for about 1 minute, and then realized it was really hard and really scary. So I really think you guys are inspiring. So thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today.
Coach, the good thing about our job is that every day, I love going to work. Absolutely loved it, because every day we didn't know what was going to happen, and it was always something different was going to happen. So that's fantastic. And I would recommend to anyone.
Similar to being an athlete. You know, when you're like playing the game, you never know what's going to happen. You have to adapt.
Yeah.
Well, in Ali's case, a race.
Yeah, true. Can I just ask Danny, how long have you had a Shetland pony living with you?
Mate, he's only a pup.
Oh my God. He's massive.
He's huge.
And I'll tell you what, I don't know if you can see this.
Oh my gosh.
This is my little baby puppy.
Whoa.
Massive.
That is a big dog.
He's just turned 2.
What's his name?
Dane.
Wayne.
Dane. As in Great Dane. Dane. Oh, look, there we are. The puppy show.
Oh,
Where's yours, Troy?
My dog's just had a bath. He's just
Oh, I should have my dog. It just progressively gets smaller and smaller.
You can have a show on dogs, Coach.
I should. This is episode 5. People with dogs. What do you like about your dog? What's great about your dog? Why did you decide to be a dog owner?
Yeah.
We could keep going all day.
Thanks, guys, so much. I had an awesome time learning about firefighting, and I'm sure the water polo community did too. Join us for the next episode.